Hey everyone, welcome back to the writing section class. In this class, we will have a look at the writing section, task 1 for academic students. Let's dive right into it. Your task 1 question for academic will be in 20 minutes of time or the given 60 minutes of time for writing section. In your task 1, you have to either summarize or describe or explain a table, a graph or a map or a given flow chart or a given bar graph or a pie chart. For this question, you have to prepare a response within 20 minutes of time, and the word count for this has to be 150 words or higher. Again, based on that, you'll be given your marks for writing section. So a band score of 0 to 9 is calculated based on how you prepare your response. The marking for that is done using 4 major categories. You've got task achievement, which contributes 25% of marks, lexical resource for 25%, coherence and cohesion, and grammatical range and accuracy. Let's have a look at the band descriptors and see how that's distinct for writing task 1. For task achievement, to get a higher band score, such as an 8 or a 7, you need to make sure you're covering all the requirements of the task. This means the question dictates you to summarize the information given in the passage or given in the diagram and make comparisons. So you have to provide comparisons and you have to summarize information. Presenting a clear overview of the main trends and providing difference between stages. If you have a bar chart, a line chart or a pie chart, providing an overview statement. If you have a process chart or a map, you have to provide a difference between the stages or the time period you can see. Clearly presenting and highlighting the main features and providing details is another thing you should do in your task achievement. The second criteria for you is coherence and cohesion. In coherence and cohesion, you have to make sure you're providing a proper sequence to your paragraphs. You arrange information in a logical order. You deal with one trend and then go to the another. Then you compare between those two. You also have to make sure that you're using a range of cohesive devices or connectors between your sentences to have a proper flow of sentences. If you don't do that, if you're not using cohesive devices or if you're not arranging information, you may fall below the 7 band scores in writing section. For lexical resource, which is the third criteria, you have to make sure you're using flexible vocabulary to dictate the answer for that question. If it's a bar chart, represent the bars. If it's a line chart, talk about the trends in the line. If it's a pie chart, talk about the portion of the pie and talk about the size of the given data. If it's a table, talk about the numbers given in the table. If it's a map, talk about the locations and use sufficient vocabulary to deal with that. Try to make sure that you're not making any spelling errors and your word formation is accurate for those questions. Finally, the last criteria for you is grammatical range and accuracy. For this, you have to make sure you produce a combination of simple and complex sentences. You produce frequent error-free sentences, making sure you are writing the answer in the proper grammatical tense. If it's the past tense in the diagram, represent the data in the past tense. If it's a future tense, use appropriate words to represent the future. If it's present tense in the data, talk about that in that word. Making sure that you are using proper punctuation is also part of grammatical range and accuracy. So based on this, the examiner will give you band scores from 9 to 1. For your task 1 question, academic, you are given 20 minutes of time like we discussed before. These 20 minutes of time should be utilized properly. So the first couple of minutes, you need to brainstorm the question. We'll discuss what brainstorming can be done for different types of question. But this is where you need to decide what trends you're going to use, what comparisons will you make in the given answer. The next 10 to 12 minutes of time should be utilized to write your response or type your response. Finally, in the end, check your response before you submit your answer. If you're appearing for paper-based exams, check your spellings. If you're appearing for computer-based exams, check what you've typed, check the number of spaces. For task 1 question, you have to prepare your response within 150 words, which is the minimum word count for you. If it is below 150 words, you will receive a penalty. And the ideal word limit for you is somewhere close to 170 to 190 words, as we discussed before. Let's go into the types of the questions. The first kind of graph that can come in the exam for you would be a line graph. In a line graph question, you have the x-axis, you have the y-axis, and you have lines given to you that represent data. The lines can be flowing from the y-axis towards the distant future. There could be a time in the x-axis, or there could be different entities as they've mentioned here. You need to understand what the particular point in the time stands for. What is the data numerical value of the x-axis and the y-axis, and represent that into your response. So for a line graph question, how you look at the data? Make sure you divide your body paragraphs into two parts, and you make sure that you are providing response for different trends in two different paragraphs. Compare the lines to each other. Don't describe the line individually, but try looking at the same year for both the lines and compare at which point of time what is the data given to you, or what is the numerical value for that line graph. Don't describe all the years or all the elements. For this question, you have to focus only on particular trends, only on selective trends. So make sure that you're starting with the initial years and you're finishing with the final years, and that you don't go back and forth between them. Look at the x-axis, look at the years figures, see what the numerical value is for those figures. Don't express your opinion or your feeling with the graph. Remember, for this question, it is all about data. So numbers and data have to be present accurately into your graphs. No opinions required. The next kind of graph that can come to you could be a bar chart. The bar chart can come to you with x-axis having data and y-axis having numbers of the data. Again, check the amount of entities you have been given. For each entity, you have a certain amount of value given or represented in the x-axis. When you represent or write your answer, you have to talk about particular entities only. For example, you've got entities such as finance, food processing, manufacturing, tourism, oil, coal and gas for 3 distinct years, for 2009, 2019, and a future prediction for 2029. So accordingly, you will need to compare the data with each other based on the numerical value on the y-axis. For this, think about what can you talk about the graph as. What information is present on the horizontal bars or vertical bars? What is the period of time given to you? What features you see are the highest trends or the lowest trends? What trends can be compared to each other? Are there any similarities? Are there any two trends closer to each other? You can compare 2009 of one entity to 2009 of a different entity. But don't compare 2 different years and 2 different entities to each other. So you cannot compare 2009 finance to 2019 manufacturing, because that would not be an apt comparison. So understand what kind of comparisons you can make, and accordingly talk about the data as increasing or decreasing based on the numerical value. Another key thing to note is the y-axis data. In this case is given in terms of percentages. So you need to make sure that you represent them using the word percentage or proportion and not number. The third kind of graph that can come in the exam for you would be a pie chart. For a pie chart, you can have more than one pie charts in your response, and they would be given as a total of 360 or 100%. You need to notice and see how many different parts of pie are made, and accordingly compare the pie charts to each other. Sometimes they could be different entities, sometimes they could be different years. So for this question, again, point out what main features you can see in the pie chart. See what are the periods of time they're using for measurement, or what is the unit of measurement there. Are they using proportion? Are they using numbers? What titles are given to each part of the pie? Is there a bigger piece of the pie? Is there a smaller pie slice? What are the similarities between 2 pie slices? Is there a proportional difference between 2 pie charts? Check all of these categories when you represent your data into a pie chart question. The next question type can appear in your task 1 question would be a table question. For a table question, you'll be given data in a tabular format, and you need to summarize that data into your response. Again, you have a lot of numbers given in the table representing different entities. You cannot write about each and every numerical value. In this case, you need to pick or you need to select the most important numbers that you can see from the table. For this question, identify what are the main characters of the table. What have they given on the rows and what have they given in the columns? What is the intermeasurement? Are they measuring in percentage? Are they measuring in dollars? Are they measuring in numbers? What does the title of the table tell you? What is the general trend you can see? What is increasing? What is decreasing? What is the biggest trend on the table? What is the smallest figure on the table? Are there any obvious similarities? Try to understand that and see what you can compare and accordingly prepare a response for a table question. The next question type that can come for your exam would be a map question type. In a map question type, you can be given a map of a certain region, and that region can have some changes in it, or that region can have some locations on it. You need to describe the given locations or describe the given changes from the given diagram to the answer. For this question, understand what data has been given to you. See the general changes in the map. What are these changes representing? Are there less changes, more changes? Has it moved from a smaller region to a bigger region, or has it been made into a developed region? Have there been any noticeable improvements in the area? Have there been some additions to the area, or has something been changed or demolished? What buildings have changed? What facilities are provided? All of that from the diagram should be clear and only write about that. Again, refrain from using any personal opinions in the given response. Next, you can have a process or a diagram given to you in your task 1. A process or diagram can be given to you in two ways. It can be a linear process or a cyclical process. Understand what kind of process is given to you. What is the beginning of the process? What is the end of the process? What did they start with? What did they end up with? What was the raw materials used? What have they added in the process? What is the result of the process? Have there been changes in the process? What does each step entail? From the process or from the diagram, understand what actions has been taken. Is it a cyclical process that repeats itself, or is it a linear process which starts and ends at some place? Understand that for a diagram and represent that into your body paragraphs. Finally, you can have a fusion of multiple kinds of graph in your essay. The question can be having two different types of graphs that we previously saw, and you have to represent both of these into your response for task 1. So for these questions, divide your answer in two different body paragraphs. See which graphs are you dealing with, what features you can represent, what information is each specific graph giving you, what is the time period given in the graph if there is any, what are the features in both the graphs that are common, are there any similarities between the two graphs, what is their relation. Remember, don't write too much about each graph as your word limit is only 170 to 190 words. So only select the important features from both the graphs to represent them. Don't write two different graphs in one paragraph. Represent one graph in one paragraph and the other in the other paragraph. Try to compare them in those paragraphs. Again, refrain from using any personal viewpoints into this question. Let's have a look at how you can construct your task 1 essay and how you can write down your answer. You'll first start with the introduction paragraph for any given task 1 response with about 1 to 2 sentences in that. The first sentence will be the introduction sentence or a background sentence in which you will paraphrase the given question according to the given question's graph. The second sentence is where you provide an overview of the given trends in the graph. To provide an overview, you can talk about the smaller trend, the larger trends. There is no need to provide any numerical value in the overview sentence, although you can provide what data do you think is most relevant there. Again, be clear to specify information. Don't be too vague. To create or construct an introduction sentence, you can use the following vocabulary table. So for example, if you've been given a flow chart or a pie chart or a table, you can talk about the pie chart, or you can talk about the table, or you can talk about the diagram from the given question using vocabulary from the screen. So you can use the presented or the supplied table or flow chart or bar graph, and you can use verb from the list of verbs. You can use provides, delineates, or describes. And depending on the kind of data given to you, you can talk about the comparison, the information, the data, the trends, the percentages of the given trend. So for example, if you want to summarize any given question, you can use the vocabulary as the presented bar graph provides information on, and you can provide your answer beyond that. So use the table to construct any given introduction to a bar graph or a pie chart or a line chart or any of the given graphs for task 1 question. That is how you will construct your body paragraph 1. Moving to body paragraphs 1 to 3, you have to provide a response within 2 to 3 sentences in each body paragraph. For each body paragraph, you will first have to decide what trends you're going to use. This is the brainstorming. You have to utilize your brainstorming into this. Provide the main points in here and try providing them using the initial or beginning connectors. So use words such as firstly, first of all, in the first place, and then provide your data in numerical format. Remember to summarize the main trends only and not elaborate on all the trends. Provide accurate data. If the data is given to you clearly, provide that. So 5% of people, approximately to $50, proportion was 90%. And make sure you're making comparisons in every paragraph between logical pieces of data. If it's a line chart, compare the 2 lines. If it's a bar chart, compare the 2 bars to each other. If it's a pie chart, compare the slices of pies to one another. If it's a map, compare the regions to one another or the time period to one another. Make sure for any task 1 question, you have proper comparison and proper summary statements. Finally, a conclusion paragraph can be written in a task 1 question with only 1 sentence, which can provide an overall view of the given graph or of the given picture.